Hello, this is a little late, but better late than never. I wanted to do this before I went on my vacation as like a scheduled video so you guys would have something to watch while I was away. But I thought, it might be kind of cool to have me talk up in the Adirondacks and have some outdoorsy backgrounds. Now, obviously right now I'm not in the real world, but I soon will be. I want to apologize for some of the audio issues. So at one point my camera fell.
During that direct present.
And I checked the mic and all the lights were still on and everything, so I thought it was still connected. And that's my own fault. I should have did another test video and made sure that it still sounded okay. But it seems like something happened where either the mic just wasn't connected anymore and it was just using my phone's microphone, or it just messed with, it messed with something. But I still have it for you guys. It's just not as best as I wanted it to be, but it's here. I made it. I hope you guys enjoy. And these are just gonna be my thoughts and feelings about that first trailer from Ocarina of Time Reborn finally being revealed. And without further ado, here we go.
Hey guys, it's SkySwordsLissa here. I'm down here at Lake Hylia, ready to talk about some Zelda. I wanted to do this before I went on vacation, but I thought, it would be kind of cool to just show some of the nature here at the cabin we come up to, and talk about Zelda here in the nature instead of at my desk or putting me in the game. Get some IRL Zelda environment going on, But I'm super excited for Ocarina of Time Remake, and I'm sure so many of you are also super excited for it. I'm gonna start off with talking about just some of the things that I really enjoyed from the trailer. So I love, so it was such a tease. It was such a tease. Oh my god, what a tease! Nintendo, what a tease! Oh my god! I love what they did. They got us hyped, they got us excited, they got us talking, because I feel like Zelda is the, or if not one of the most talked about franchises among communities. We really come together and theorize, predict, just speculate and talk all things about the games, whether it's canon or not, what kind of lore they can bring to the table. Zinni's here walking around, so I apologize if you hear her walking around. She's bumping my camera a little bit now. But some other things that I really like, I love the art style from what we've seen so far, and I'm so excited to see how they reimagine the dungeons, the other races, other tunic designs. Who knows, maybe we will get more. I'm gonna save that, we'll put a pin in that for now. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I love his little tunic design right now, and the leather armor that they put on top of him. It looks really cool. I really do love that. I know sometimes when they change things that we really love, it can be a little hard to accept, I guess. I guess is the word for it, accept. But I am a huge fan of it. I love the swirls. I'm not so sure how I feel about the little beads. I have to see it on his head. The music though too, oh my god, the music is such a highlight. I know we didn't hear much music, but I was not really so sure I cared so much about whether the soundtrack was orchestrated or not. Now, Skyward Sword has been orchestrated. I'm pretty sure Twilight Princess HD, the remastered version, has orchestrated music. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that one. But I like the orchestrated music, but I also love the sound font and just the digital, whatever. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. This is terrible, this is a great start to my video. The synth, whatever, the generated music that's in Ocarina of Time 1998 and 64 version. I like the music has sounds in that already, so I wasn't so sure that I really cared if it was going to be orchestrated or not. I know a lot of people were hoping it was going to be, and based on that teaser trailer, it really sounds like we're getting orchestrated music. And let me say, my thoughts have totally changed. 180. I am all in on this orchestrated soundtrack for Ocarina of Time. It sounds so good. And just those few little notes from Saria's song. I can't wait to hear all of the other songs that you play on the ocarina played by an actual ocarina while you're playing it. It would be really cool. And I'm kind of getting a little bit ahead of myself, but as I'm talking about the music, I'm thinking, what if they do add a little bit more to the songs that you play in Ocarina of Time? Maybe it's not just the 6 notes that we usually play. I think they're usually 6 notes. Some of them might have a few more, but they're roughly 6 notes. And a lot of them end up repeating. But what if they add a little bit more? I don't know how they would, but it is gonna be like a little hard for your memory to try to remember what they are, unless they put them up on the screen for you somehow so that you can see like what the notes are and you can just play it like that. Like how on the 3DS version, like we don't have 2 screens right now, but on the 3DS version, you had on the bottom there where you could just see all the songs while you were playing them. But maybe they expand on that a little bit, maybe they don't. Either way, I can't wait to hear them all fully reorchestrated, and I really hope they do where they're all enclosed, like the whole orchestra is all enclosed in like one room. It's like a full orchestra playing all together instead of taking like a violin in this one sound room and the piano in this other sound room and all these other instruments and just like putting them all together. I really hope that they're in a studio all together playing together. I can't remember the term for that either. Great research, Alyssa. Like they did that for Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and if you know me, you know how much I love that game. And the soundtrack to that game is phenomenal. I cannot express how much the music is so fantastic in that game. And that's what they did. They had that in studio, like everybody was there playing at the same time, not taking violin clips here, piano clips there, saxophone clips here, and like putting them together. No, they were all together, playing together. And I think that just adds a lot of connectivity for the people that are playing the music together too. Like they are hearing each other, and I just feel like it builds more emotion. But either way, super excited. Hi, cute dog. Super excited to hear the entire soundtrack reorchestrated in this remake. But during that direct presentation, I was just putting all my attention in there. Once the Zelda part was over and they're moving on to the treehouse, I was like, we gotta go back and watch that trailer again. We watched it like 4 more times. Sorry, I was making sure the mic was still on. But I watched that 4 more times. And I realized the second time when we started watching through it, I was like, guys, there's a narrator. Like, I obviously heard the narrator and, like, you know, knew there was somebody talking, but I was just paying attention and listening. I realized, I'm like, dude, there's a narrator. There's a narrator. We're gonna have voice acting in this game. So I'm really excited to hear who voices who. Not necessarily care if they're big names or not. I kind of prefer that they were nobodies. Maybe not necessarily like nobodies, but not very like popular people that most people know. Like maybe some popular anime voice actors like Matt Mercer, for example. Ben Starr as another example. Ben Starr's done stuff for Final Fantasy and for Clair Obscur Expedition 33 as just some examples. So people like that would be really cool to get those kind of people in, but don't be bringing like Chris Pratt and like Jack Black and all that. Like it's fine for the Mario movie, for the movies and stuff. Sorry, it's bugging you. But for my games, no. Just keep like the popular video game voice actors or like anime voice actors. That would be really cool. But I'm super excited to hear who voices who. Just see this whole game reimagined with actual like emotion behind it. You know, reading the text is fine, but I am super excited to just hear Ocarina of Time fully voice acted. Maybe not necessarily fully, but voice acted at least for some of the major cutscenes, like when you come out of Jabu Jabu, or when you find Princess Ruto in Jabu Jabu, when you're talking to King Zora, but maybe not for certain other things, like maybe when you go meet Zelda for the first time, maybe she's not talking. I don't know. I'm not really sure what they're gonna do. I'm just trying to think of like how Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were handled, but maybe they do want to take their game up another notch and have it be fully voice acted where everybody's talking all the time. Now for a few changes I'd like to see, or improvements, just things that were cut that I would like to show up now. Definitely the Sage Medallions. I think the idea of having them actually do something while you're out adventuring would be really, really cool and really fun. I really feel like Nintendo wants to do everything that they couldn't do before. Right now, I feel like Nintendo has like a 3-pillar strategy for Zelda, and this is just me like my thoughts on it. I feel like we're gonna have the main Zelda team, you know, making our new 3D Zelda games, like our Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, the game that's coming after Tears of the Kingdom now. Then I think, you know, we have Grezzo working on the top-downs, whether they're remakes like Link's Awakening or new games like Echoes of Wisdom. Then I think they're starting a 3rd pillar where they took some people from the Zelda team, took some people from Monolith Soft's team, maybe some people from Grezzo, but I think they kind of just made a new 3rd tier team. And it's not like a huge team, but it's a smaller team that can work on remastering, reimagining, rebirthing
the classic 3D Zelda games. So they're starting with Ocarina of Time. I feel like it would be silly to not do Majora's Mask after, because you already have so many assets from this one, and that's a whole other video with like a potential Majora's Mask thing. But then, you know, go to Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. I feel like Wind Waker art style wise is still really good and holds up, but they could definitely add more islands, make it more expansive, or just flesh out the islands a little bit more, because there were some islands where you went on there and you didn't really do too much. So it would be kind of cool if they just... I swear to God, dog. She keep bumping my tripod. She wants me to throw her bumper in the water, but we're nowhere near the water. Well, the water's over there, but we're a little bit away from the water. Yeah, we're in the Lost Woods now. But yeah, essentially, I feel like there's this new pillar for Zelda games where you're all wet, where they're going to be reimagining from the ground up these 3D Zelda games before the Wild Era games came out, so up through to Skyward Sword. And we're not gonna see them like year beyond year. Like, it's gonna be like at least 5 years in between each of these. Maybe Majora's Mask they could turn around a little bit more quickly, but like this would just be something to help fill in the gaps while we're waiting for our new 3D Zelda games, our new 2D Zelda games. We get the remakes still for the top-down games, because there's still a good bit of top-down games that haven't been remade yet. And I'm still gonna clamor for the Oracle games. I feel like they need it the most. They may not be as popular as Link to the Past or Minish Cap, but I feel like Minish Cap looks really great still. Link to the Past looks really great still. Oracle games are a bit of an eyesore, and I love those games, so I would really love to see those ones reimagined first. But yeah, so I think that this is like a new strategy to keep us Zelda fans satiated, because Nintendo does try to put something Zelda out once every year. It may not be mainline, or made in-house, but they put things out like Hyrule Warriors, Cadence of Hyrule, things like that, you know. I'm blanking and I'm a little distracted now because there's a dog barking and Zimmy's whining, but yeah. So I think they're gonna add like a lot of things that they had to cut out based on like time management, because they're gonna be able to use this third pillar to reimagine the games the way that they wanted to and fully flesh them out the way they want. Hey, some other things, you know, they cut out the light dungeon. Apparently there was a wind dungeon. I'm not sure that they'll add all of that, but it would be really cool to at least get the light dungeon and actually earn the light medallion, instead of you just pull the sword out, you're an adult now, and here's the sage medallion that does nothing. I think with them incorporating the sage medallions actually having a function could help with the magic system as well, because I feel like the magic system's a little bit lacking. Like, you have the 3 powers you can use from the goddesses, you know, Din's Fire, Nehru's Love, and Farore's Wind. Maybe they could expand on those 2 a little bit. Like, maybe Din's Fire, you know, you can do, like, the Ring of Fire, but maybe they do another thing where it just, like, rains down, like Death Mountain style, rains down volcanic rock or something. But obviously you'd have to, like, learn how to use them. But I just think having more things to do with the magic would make it a little more fleshed out and a little more fun. They kind of actually do already have a good amount of stuff, like, as I'm, like, thinking about it, because of the elemental arrows. I just feel like in today's gaming, they could add so much more to the magic, to add more things to the combat. Like, maybe we don't get more sword-like type combat, like, maybe they do keep that a little bit basic. Maybe they add some hidden skills, like, you know, some cool stuff where you could do, like, a helm splitter, or, I think it's the final draw or something, where Link just, like, draws his sword when it's sheathed. That's so fucking badass. So it would be kind of sick if they did add some hidden skills and stuff like that with the sword combat, but maybe if that's a little bit too ambitious, maybe with the magic system that can enhance the combat and add new layers to things. Because I feel like Nintendo really likes this whole solve it your way type strategy. So I think with this Ocarina of Time Reborn, they may do that where certain things you don't have to solve a certain way. Maybe they have an intended way, but then they also make it so that way you can cheese it or do whatever you want. I don't know that I really want to cheese through Ocarina of Time, especially with it looking that beautiful. You know, you feel like you kind of would want to enjoy as much of it as you could. I don't think they're gonna like fully open world this game either. Like, I don't think they're gonna expand it super big. Maybe they add more to the field, like that I can really see is more things to do in Hyrule Field. I don't know that they'd add a whole nother region. I mean, I'm all for it, because when it comes down to it, we still have Ocarina of Time 64 and Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. 3DS didn't really change too much. If anything, it added more quality of life things. I know there's a whole debacle with Majora's Mask on 3DS, but the Ocarina of Time version on 3DS is pretty faithful to how the original one plays. The one thing that stands out to me is that they made the iron boots an item, and that was big because then you have to keep pausing your screen. So that was a good improvement. Good on you, Grezzo, for that one. But like, those still exist. You can still go back to those and enjoy those the way that they were made. But with this remake or rebirthing, you could totally change whatever you want. Like, I feel like, you know, fans are gonna get mad no matter what. You know, like, there are gonna still be some people that are like, you ruined my game, you ruined my childhood. But those games are still there, and they're trying to like modernize it and add the things that they couldn't add. So I do expect to see a lot of changes. I really don't think this is going to be a one-for-one. We already see that with Link having the Triforce glowing on his hand in the beginning. Like, that didn't happen in the beginning. Maybe it's foreshadowing that, like, hey, you are on this journey because you're part of this prophecy and you're a chosen one. So maybe for visual and thematic viewer purposes, they did that. So aside from combat changes and adding things to the magic system, you know, more spells and whatnot, I would really like them to expand on the lore. With them showing off Link's hand glowing with the Triforce in the beginning, I really feel like that already indicates lore changes or things added to the lore. Now, we've had so many games come out since 1998 that there are definitely things that they could add. For example, like the goddess statues were presented in Skyward Sword. They added those into Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I wouldn't be that surprised if we see goddess statues. I still think the Gossip Stones will be there. Like, I don't think they're gonna change the Gossip Stones and make them all goddess statues, but I could see a goddess statue showing up here or there. Maybe near the platforms when you learn those songs to teleport, you know, like Serenade of Water, Bolero of Fire, Moonweta Forest, etc., etc. Maybe there's a goddess statue around those locations. Who knows? Maybe they expand on the claw marks at Lake Hylia. I know that's a popular thing that's been brought up by a lot of people. But I don't know how too in-depth with the lore they'll go, because I know they really like letting our fan base speculate and theorize, come up with their own ideas and thoughts on what could have been going on. However, I still feel like they're going to expand or add more to it. At least that's my hope. I'm hoping for that, because I think it would be really cool to flesh out the story a little bit more. Because Ocarina of Time is honestly, for me, just very nostalgic, and it's very nostalgic for a lot of people. I just feel like a lot of the nostalgia is based on the characters and the environments, and not maybe necessarily the story. So I think, and you know, if you really do look at the story, it is a pretty, you know, interesting and like deeper story, but why does Ganondorf want to take over? Like, what struggles are happening in the Gerudo Desert? We don't really know, you know? We don't know too much about Ganondorf, so it would be cool to get more lore, more about Ganondorf and his motive and like why he's just so hungry for power. Now, we know with Demise's curse that he says every 100 years or whatever, you know, somebody's going to be born to combat, you know, you and Zelda, the holders of the Triforce of Courage and the holder of Triforce of Wisdom. There will be somebody born with this thirst for the Triforce of Power to balance out the other two. So, like, we know that perspective, but I feel like there's gotta be more. Like, he can't just be bad just because he's bad and because he's cursed, you know? Like, Link can't just, like Link isn't just a courageous boy because he has Triforce of Courage, because he's so different in every game, you know? Like Twilight Princess, he's just this cute little ranch hand guy. In Wind Waker, he's just a big brother and he's just trying to go save his sister, and now he's all roped into all this shit. Like, he earns it, you know what I mean? Zelda pretty much is always just born with it. But Link, for the most part, is either born with it or he earns it through his trials and tribulations
trying to save whoever it is he's trying to save, whether it's Princess Zelda or his sister. Yeah, give us more lore, more lore. So to kind of sum this section up, I really don't think that this is going to be one-to-one. I definitely think they're going to expand on it. They're going to keep the foundations of what makes Ocarina of Time, but tech has come such a long way that they can most likely do all of the things that they wanted to do back then that they couldn't. And also not be restricted by time, because like I said, I think this is a third pillar to kind of fill out some of the gaps while we wait for the next new 3D Zelda game. But I still feel like this is going to feel new, especially to people that haven't played Zelda before. They're gonna be like, yeah, this feels like a game that's meant for 2026, not a 1998 game. You know? Another thing that I did mean to bring up was we had that patent with fairy mechanics, so potentially maybe Navi's gonna have more of a role. They seem to have not even just Nintendo, just games in general, like The Adventures of Elliot right now, and you can add a second player if you wanted to control Fae. So I could see them doing something similar to that, maybe not as to the extent of phase functions, but maybe they have Navi play more of a role than just a, hey, listen, let me give you a hint, let me tell you how to help, let me give you hints on how to defeat this enemy. Maybe she does play a more vital role, and that's why we see these patents for a fairy mechanic. Or hell, maybe it's just for the next new game, and they decide to add a fairy, and they want to make Ocarina of Time seem relevant again.
I just want to interject real quick and say that if you're enjoying the video so far, please drop a like. It does help a lot, especially for little guys like me. And if you like it even more, subscribe. Why not subscribe? I stream games here in case you're not sure who I am. I'm SkySwordsLissa. I stream games here on YouTube on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Occasionally go on vacations, but you know, overall throughout the year, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Last Friday of the month, community day streams where we play multiplayer games and games that can involve the chat, whether they're story-based games where you'll help me choose the path we go, or games like Tamagotchi Life where I have people in the chat in the game. So, but yeah, if you're liking it, please drop a like and subscribe. Thanks. Back to the video.
I just want to talk about what I love about Ocarina of Time and what makes it so iconic for me. And I feel like this is probably going to be an answer most people have. Definitely the music. The music is up there. You know, Link's got his ocarina. Very music oriented. We haven't really been seeing that too much from the more recent games. It would be kind of cool for them to bring that back. But the music, and it's so iconic. You know, you hear Gerudo Desert going. Lost my ear. Oh, fuck. You know, you hear Gerudo Desert music going. Instant fucking bop. You start dancing right away. Zora's Domain, another freaking banger. The Goron's Village. So good, you know. Music is so iconic. So like I said, I'm so stoked to hear that all fully reorchestrated. But music definitely up there. So I'm so excited to hear what that's gonna sound like in today's standards. Another thing, the dungeons. Dungeons, so good. You know, Twilight Princess is my favorite, but just across the board for Zelda, you know, the dungeons are a highlight usually for most of them. Tears of the Kingdom did it better than Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wilds were a bit of a letdown, but I'm just talking pre-Wild era games. Dungeons were always a highlight, so iconic. You know, exploring was always fun in Zelda. I feel like the last two games really expanded on exploring a whole lot more, especially with the bigger map. I feel like exploration isn't as prominent in Ocarina of Time. Maybe a little bit, and you know, with the questing and everything, but I would love them to expand a little bit more on the exploration aspect of Zelda games for this one. I'm not saying there wasn't any in Ocarina of Time, I just feel like it wasn't as prominent or as much of a highlight as like the music and the dungeons, and you know, the Ocarina of Time actually, you know, is very linear, but is also not. When I did my 24-hour playthrough of it, I wanted to mix it up and not do it the way I usually do it. I actually got the hook shot. I think I got the Minuet of Forest song, but I ended up going to the Goron village, got the red tunic before I even started the forest dungeon.
I think I did a few other things, but I remember I did do the forest temple first still, because I do think the bow is very important to get. But I didn't do the fire temple next. I went and I did the water temple, and then I did the fire temple. I did the shadow, or no, I did the spirit temple, and then I did the shadow temple. Usually I think this is the order most people do, is forest, fire, water, shadow, spirit. So I hopped all around, and I didn't really have any issues doing that. And I'm kind of curious, like, hey, what if I didn't even do the forest temple first and I did go somewhere else? Now, the only thing is, I'm pretty sure you do need the Megaton hammer for something in the shadow temple. But, like, other than that, I really can't think of anything, like, maybe the bow, too. Maybe you shoot some eyes. So, like, the bow and the hammer, I think, are, like, the top two things. Maybe the long shot. I mean, I think as long as you have the hook shot, you're probably fine. I'm trying to, like, think what else you really needed the long shot for, aside from being in the water temple to solve some of the puzzles, where you needed a longer hook shot. But, yeah, dungeons, another really big highlight. A final highlight for Ocarina of Time. Definitely the items. Items kind of have gone away a little bit. You know, we had expanded weapon inventory. I'm not so sure that we'll see that here. I mean, maybe we'll get new swords and other types of swords. That I'm not really like hoping for that. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I'm not gonna be miffed about it. I will be a little miffed if like the Master Sword breaks or something. Like that would bother me, like if there's durability for Master Sword. But I really just hope they kind of like expand on the items. I'm not really sure what kind of items they could add. Maybe some other ones from other games. Like some unique items I really like from one of the Oracle games. I can't remember if it's Ages or Seasons. Sorry if I'm like doing this a lot. There's fucking bugs everywhere. But you get like these magnetic gloves and they kind of just switch your spots. So like you see like an object and it's like negative and you use your positive and you just like swap spots. Or no, I'm thinking of a different item. There's another item that does that where you switch spots. But no, the magnet one pushes and pulls stuff. So like just things like more unique like that, you know, like long shot and hook shot are pretty unique in my opinion. For back then anyway, like that seems like a pretty common item that happens now. But maybe they add like the whip that's in Skyward Sword and Spirit Tracks. Could be in other games too. Those are just the two I can think of off the top of my head that have a whip. Especially if they do add some more dungeons, like you're gonna need more items. So I'm kind of curious to see like the item designs, and maybe you get even more upgrades. Like maybe you don't just have a fairy bow, maybe you can expand that and get like a light bow, or you get 2 long shots instead of just one, like how you had 2 claw shots in Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. So the items are another like really big thing, so it would be really cool to see some more items or maybe upgrades to items that you have. I think they'll probably still lock your kid items like your boomerang. Like I don't think you'll still be able to use that as an adult, but maybe you find like a bigger boomerang that adult Link can use. Or maybe they do just say, hey, some of this stuff is a little odd, because I guess the boomerang is kind of weird that you can't really use that as an adult. I understand they probably cut it for puzzle purposes because they want you to use other new items from the other dungeons. But maybe in this one, because they really want you to solve your own way anymore, maybe they do just say, hey, you know, you can still use that boomerang, but maybe they do keep like the Happy Mask Salesman quest locked to as like a kid, so that you can't just like have the masks. I don't know. Maybe they let you maybe the masks actually do stuff. Because, you know, they don't really do anything in Ocarina of Time. Maybe they do add some perks to them. Like, maybe the bunny hood does let you run faster, like in Majora's Mask, or something like that. I don't know. I'm kind of talking out of my butt right now, to be honest. But it's really buggy right here, so I think I'm going to go somewhere else now. I just want to comment and say, look, that boulder, that's a nice boulder. A few things I forgot to bring up. As usual, you know me, marble rain. I want them to have 3 different endings. So, if you're not familiar with the timeline, it splits into 3 categories after Ocarina of Time. So once Ocarina of Time happens, there's either Downfall timeline, so Link loses Ganon. And then there's the Childhood timeline, which is pretty much the one that actually happens, according to like the actual ending of Ocarina of Time, because, you know,
spoiler alert, I guess, in case you haven't played Ocarina of Time and you're only gonna start with this remake, Link gets sent back as a child to go like relive his life. But there's another timeline where it's the adult timeline where Link doesn't get sent back and he just stays an adult and just keeps going as is. But that doesn't actually happen in the game. The only thing that does happen is Link gets sent back in time as a child to go relive his childhood, and he warns Zelda back then about Ganondorf. So it would be really cool to see them actually implement 3 endings. The way that would happen would be with, you know, either you suck at the game and you die when you're fighting Ganondorf, or, you know, you try for shits and giggles just to see, or 3, you hear about it online that, yeah, there is another ending, that if you lose to Ganondorf, you get, like, a certain cutscene, and then you have to start the fight over, and, you know, maybe, oh my god, freaking bugs. Maybe not the whole fight, maybe just the Ganon part, or maybe they do make you start over with your ping pong match. Yeah, like 3 endings would be really cool to see made canon, like, in the game, since there's really only one ending that actually happens in the game, as of now. I mean, if they add them, they add them, but I don't really want, like, a whole bunch of outfits like we got in, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. It's fine for those games, and I like them in those games. I just think if they add too much of that into this, like, that's just, I just think that that's too much. I think they should just expand mostly on, like, the world and the combat and the lore, you know, magic system. Things that are, like, already implemented. Now, I mean, you do get 3 different color tunics already, but maybe they just, like, tweak the designs on those and make them a little, like, cooler. Me personally, I love the way Link looks with the red tunic, the silver gauntlets, and the mirror shield. I think that outfit looks so cool. But like I don't see them adding like climbing gear and stuff like that. I mean, maybe they do. Maybe they add stamina and you can climb whatever. I mean, I don't know. I'm not so sure that I really care about that, like with the climbing. I mean, it would be cool. I'm not opposed to it. There's very few things that I'm opposed to, and if they do add outfits, you know, they add outfits, it is what it is, but I just don't see there being, like, a reason. I was thinking, like, maybe with the medallions, when you have a certain one, like, maybe you equip one at a time, and they all do different things, and maybe it changes, like, the hue of your tunic, like, so maybe if you have, like, the shadow medallion equipped, maybe you have, like, a little bit of a purple tunic. Like, I think changing, like, the tunic color might be cool, like, maybe you could just go to a dye house and just change that. But then only have, like, you know, your fireproof and then your water breathing tunic. You know, he just put his blue tunic on, now I can breathe underwater all of a sudden. Yeah, maybe they, like, add, like, how the Zora armor in Twilight Princess looks, like, where when Link's not in the water, he doesn't have, like, that mask over his face, but when he's in the water, like, this black mask shows up. At least I'm pretty sure when he's not in the water, it's not there, it's only there when he's in the water. I could be misremembering that. He could always have the mask on. But, like, adding some, like, extra elements to that, because they already did that for Little Link. Little Link's tunic already looks a lot different, so I could see them changing the designs on those 2 tunics as well. But I don't really think we're gonna get much more. But, you know, the hover boots don't really do too much. You use them a little bit in the Shadow Temple, and then, like, a little bit in Ganon's Tower. But other than that, like, the hover boots really aren't utilized much, so maybe more puzzles with that. I don't think they're gonna, like, overload the world with shrines. I think that's a Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom thing. Maybe the next game will have shrines, but the shrines are, like, good and not at the same time for me. Like, I like them because they are, like, little mini dungeons, but if that, like, limits them from adding more dungeons, like how in Tears of the Kingdom there's only, like, 4 or 5 dungeons, and same with Breath of the Wild, but there's like 100-something shrines. Like, I feel like if they were gonna do that, I'd be like less shrines and more bigger dungeons. But the shrines can be fun. Like, some of them are fun. So I don't really think we're gonna see that here in Ocarina of Time. I want to round this all out by just talking about some memories of Ocarina of Time, the original one, and where it stands for me. So Ocarina of Time was my introduction to Zelda. I was born the same year. I was born in June. The game came out in November. Obviously couldn't play it since I was an infant. But when I was 4, oh, fucking ears, my God, I'm taking them out. So my dad was playing it when I was 4 years old. Watched him play a lot. I can vividly remember, like, 4-year-old me. I remember Kokiri Forest a lot because I would just run around in there. I didn't really know what to do because I was 4. And I didn't play games yet. Like, that was, like, my introduction to video games was just running around in Kokiri Forest playing Ocarina of Time.
The Gorons really like was a highlight for me that really stuck out, as well as the Zoras. The Gerudo women I remember like vaguely, like I do remember my dad trying to go over there and like talking to them and then being like, "You little boy, get out of here! You can't be here, girls only." I do remember that a little bit. You know, I remember Lake Hylia. There are a lot of things that like 4-year-old me just remembers seeing my dad play through this, and I just was so enraptured by it, and I like just loved the fantasy, all the colors, the whimsicalness of it. I got back into Zelda when I was 9. Somewhere around the age of like 9 and 10, I got back into Zelda. I think I was 9. So I was 9-ish, 10-ish, around that age. Got back into Zelda with Twilight Princess. I was stuck in Twilight Princess. This isn't a video about Twilight Princess, so I'm not going to deep dive into that. And I did talk about that a little bit in my other Zelda video. But I got back into it then, and haven't looked back since. But Ocarina of Time definitely hits like the nostalgia for me still, even though I didn't get back into Zelda until I was like 10. But just having me being such a young age at like 4, having my dad play this and me being able to like remember that, and like when I went and played it, rekindle some of those like memories. I just can't wait to experience this game again. My nephew will be 3 this year by the time this game comes out, because I'm assuming it's gonna come out after October. His birthday's in October, so he'll be 3, so he'll be like how I was probably. Cool, the dynamic to be like, this game that was so iconic to me when I was 4 years old, you're almost 4, close enough, you're a year off. To have him like see that maybe and experience it, I don't know. I'm getting a little rambling now. I've been walking all around the property, but yeah. And you know, it can't be a Zelda video with me talking about Ocarina of Time if I don't bring up the fishing hole. Can't have me talking about games and not bring up fishing. If you know, you know. I doubt I'll even catch anything. This is more just a food video. But yeah, so fishing hole. I really hope that they decide to expand the fishing hole. Whether they make it bigger, add more fish, all of the above. But I like you know how in Twilight Princess you can go out on the little canoe. I think for the first time you go out, you need to have a hand that go with you. But as like a tour, but then after that you can go out on your own whenever. I think them adding something like that would be really, really cool. Maybe not even necessarily do that, but just have it more expansive. Some people mentioned like having fish in like other bodies of water, like just being straight up at Lake Hylia and not in the fishing hole, or in that stream by Zora's River, or like it is Zora's River. If you could fish in there. That I don't really know how much I would care for. I mean, it would be cool, and obviously I'm gonna go fish those spots. Maybe you can collect other fish. Maybe that's how they add a quest. Or maybe it's just a time killer. You know, I'm fine with it being a time killer too. Zinni's so interested in this lore. They should add more species of fish. Just do stuff with that fishing hole. Make it cooler. Because fishing in games, it's good. Now I'm like, I want to keep fishing now. I'm just gonna roll for a little bit and see if maybe I can fish something. Oh, Harry's gonna kill me. I can't wait to go back and see how long that freaking took me to get that knot out. That was ridiculous. I don't even know how the hell that happened. Ooh! Hell yeah, let's go! Let's go! Woo! Woo! Fish for the video! Hell yeah! Let's go! Fish for the video! Alright, I got him unhooked. Look at that. Little baby smallmouth. Probably like, I don't know. Like 9 inches maybe? Maybe 6. He looks bigger than 6, but yeah. Fish for the video. Bye, buddy. So there you have it. There's some of my thoughts, feelings, hopes, and dreams for Ocarina of Time Reborn. I absolutely love that nomenclature for it. It makes it seem so much more hype than just remake, reimagining. It's reborn. It's
being made again. It's coming back to life again. Just, I can't wait, you guys. Please let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you want me to do more videos like this, let me know. I can't always, you know, be in this kind of nature. I do live in the nature already, so I can find some nature spots. Let me know what your hopes and dreams are for Ocarina of Time Reborn. And I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.
So, what do you all think? I'll probably do more of these as we learn more about the game. Hopefully, we will learn more soon. Please let me know your thoughts and feelings down in the comments below if you like this type of video. But most of all, I want to know your thoughts and feelings on this Ocarina of Time Reborn teaser trailer. Do you want more of a one-to-one with audio and visual enhancements? Or you want something a little more ambitious, like the cut content and just adding a few things? Please let me know. I'm curious what you guys are thinking. Are you as hyped as I am? I can't wait. I really want to see more of this game. Oh. Again, my name is SkySwordsAlyssa, and I stream games here on YouTube Tuesdays and Thursdays for the most part. But yeah, take care, you guys. Appreciate you all. If you watch this whole video, would appreciate a like and a sub if you haven't already. And with that, happy Hyrule exploring, you guys. Peace.
Hello, you guys. SkySwordsAlyssa here. I'm here at the beautiful lake that shall not be named. It's Lake Hylia, you know. I'm here at Lake Hylia. Oh, this is cheesy as fuck, and I keep losing my ears. I don't think I'm gonna do the ears, because the ears keep should they? The ears don't want to stay in. She likes to catch her little buoy out in the water. She's swimming out here in Lake Hylia. Oh, I still have my glasses on. She went fully flushing out the way down. Hey! I think it's just a chipmunk. It's just a chipmunk. She's good. I was like, maybe I should just like record me while I'm making my walk back. Get a little walking action going. Heading back to the house. Well, this is not my angle though. Not my angle. What's good though, everybody? What's good? Alright, I'm gonna stop. With Link's hand glowing at the beginning versus... Check my notes. Woo! I almost flipped and died, thingy.